Hi guys, welcome to today's class. So we'll be learning how to make this sleeve, and to make it we need our basic sleeve, we need our tape rule, we need our marker, our scissors, our pattern master for ruling lines. So we're going to get started into the class. I'm going to measure the length I want to slash through, because we're going to be slashing the sleeve. But first of all, I just want to show you the length of my sleeve. This is a full length of sleeve and it's 23. Yours can be 21, yours it can be 22. So I'm going to measure to 9 inches. Okay, our slashing is not getting to the elbow, so I'm just using like a short sleeve length to slash. Okay, so that's what I measured now, 9 inches, and I ruled across using my pattern master. That's the part I will be slashing through. Okay, 9 inches, that's what I measured. If you want yours 8 inches, of course you can do it. It all depends on the person's short sleeve length. Okay, so I'll go ahead and slash through that point. Okay, and that's what we have right here. When slashing yours, please don't slash it out entirely, just leave it hanging with a little piece of the paper. Okay, you don't need to slash it throughout entirely, but even if you slash it throughout entirely, it's still okay. Okay, so I've gotten my another piece of paper. I'll be using this to spread this sleeve that we have here. So that's what I'm going to do now. But first of all, I'll measure at the top of my paper. Okay, I'll measure 5 inches at the top of my paper and rule a straight line across, because I want my sleeve to be placed straight. All right, so I've gone ahead to do that. The next thing I'm going to do now is to place the other part of the sleeve we slash through. Okay, you can see, just watch and see through the whole process, so that when doing yours you can easily achieve it. Okay, so I'm just taping it up, the lower part of the sleeve. I'm sticking it to the paper because we need that to align with the end of the new pattern paper we are working with. Okay, so just watch. You can see how I'm tilting the sleeve. You can see how I'm tilting it. I'm moving it out. Okay, I've spread it as much as I want, so just go ahead and spread yours as much as you want. If you want yours bigger than mine, go ahead and spread it out the more. Okay, so that's just basically what I'm doing. All right, so you can see the reason why we left those extra inches up was so we can accommodate this spreading. And you can see our spreading space was about 4 inches or 5 inches. Okay, so all I'm doing now is I'm just connecting, just basically connecting. Okay, just forming my shape and then slanting it down. I slanted by 1 inch, as in the space I left was about 1 inch, and then this just basically on how you want it. Just, there's no rule to it, just use your hand to freestyle it. Okay, and but just look at how mine is looking, so when you want to make yours, you know how to go about it. So that's it with our sleeve. I'll just go ahead and add my sewing allowance all across, but if your sleeve already has sewing allowance, there is no need adding more sewing allowance. So I'll just go ahead and cut that out. So please guys, subscribe, like, leave your comments, share with your friends. Okay, so that's our sleeve. Now I'm notching those edges. Okay, you can see that's where the main sleeve we spread out is, so I'm notching the edges. Also the part where we cut through to spread, I'm notching it, and you see the reason why I notched these parts as the class progresses. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and fold my fabric so that I can cut my sleeve out. I'm just aligning my fabric to get my sleeve. Okay, so I left about half an inch out, so that because I want to cut it through and join it. This step, you can omit this step, okay? It's not necessary to slash it through. You can omit it if you don't want to have a joining at that part of the sleeve. It's okay. At the center part is okay. It's not a must, okay? So I just left half an inch for joining, but it's really not necessary. If you don't want to have a joining, it's okay. You can omit it. Just go ahead and cut it out just the way it is, okay? So I'm cutting out my sleeve now. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe with your friends. And I'm also taking note of my notch points, okay? And I'm notching it on the fabric as well. Please like, share, comment, okay? Subscribe to my channel. These are the encouragements I get to make many more videos for you. Okay, so I'm slashing through that point. Like I said, it's not a must to do this part. If you don't want to join in, it's okay. Don't slash it through, okay? But I want to join in, so I'm going to sew that part back, okay? But if you don't want to slash, just sew through this part, okay? And that's all. If yours doesn't have a joining, just sew through that part, okay? But mine has a joining, so I'll be sewing through all the areas we have there. So now we're going to be using our interfacing. I'm going to cut out my interfacing, okay? It is because of this interfacing we have a notch on the sleeve, okay? You can see how I'm folding it. I'm folding it at that point of the notch we have on the short sleeve parts, okay? So that's the part we're going to be extending our interfacing to, okay? So that's just it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and iron it on my sleeve, on each part of the sleeve. The reason why I cut it through was because my sleeve is in 2 pieces, okay? But if yours is just 1 piece, okay, there's no need cutting through your interfacing. So I've gone ahead to iron it, and this is what we have. You can see this is what we have after I've ironed it. So I'll go ahead and sew it, starting from this notch, that notch there, okay? I'm going to sew it. I'll sew to this point, okay? If yours didn't have an opening, I'll sew to this point as well. If yours didn't have an opening, you can just sew at that first point, okay? You can see how I did my sewing on all the areas, okay? You can see all the parts I stitched. So go ahead and stitch yours in that manner, okay? I'll go ahead and notch and cut off every excesses. Okay, so if yours doesn't have a join, if your sleeve is just 1 piece, you see this part I'm notching, okay? You will not need to notch it. There won't be any need to notch it because we didn't sew through all that parts. But because I stitched through all that parts, that's why I notched it. Okay guys, here is our sleeve. Our sleeve is actually ready. If you're working with a lining piece, of course you go ahead and do the same process, repeat the same process on your lining piece, and then flip it, and that will be it for your sleeve. So this part that is remaining, that's the part we're joining to our dress or top or whatever you're making with this sleeve pattern, okay? So you can see our sleeve is ready. It's just ready. So you give it a good press, give it a good ironing, and that's just it. So you can see our sleeve. This is what our sleeve looks like on our mannequin. Isn't this beautiful, guys? Please like, share, and see you in our next class. Bye.